281-330.
8004.
Hit Mike Jones up on the low.
Mike Jones about to blow.
Sure. Yeah. Is that how we're gonna start the podcast? I think that's the way we should start the podcast, right?
I think so.
Giving paying homage to one of the greats from back in the days. Another song off of Mike Jones, though. Well, before we get into that, how are you guys doing today?
A-okay over here, baby.
Doing well, man. Weather's okay.
Weather's
Not
okay.
Too hot,
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Not too cold.
Not too cold. It's just right. It's just right. Another song from Mike Jones that I did like that was pretty. That had the school bus bumping was that one with the Yin Yang Twins. Oh, yeah. I'm looking for a dime. That's top of the line.
Yeah.
Cute faced in waist with a big behind.
I don't know.
You everybody want to see you.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Oh, dude, that song had me going, dog. When we were in football. I think that's when I was football, dude.
I totally remember that verse now.
Dude, it was, dude. That was like the hype up song, dude.
Naked.
Yeah. Take it, girl, home. Yeah.
See, I was already out of school by that time, so I'm just clocking back into work, listening to all my dreams. Someone else get their dreams, but I didn't get mine.
Yeah, man. No,
Dude,
he was putting it down, dude.
I got a pretty funny story actually about the music back then. I had a homie that slipped up. He had this girl that was just in the palm of his hands, and he chose to use it was a Yin Yang Twins song.
The Whisper song?
Yes. Dude. So imagine a ninth grader using that on a girl. He walked up to her.
Oh my word.
And he's like, hey, let me tell you something. And then she went from having a crush on this guy for like months to like looking over at him and being like, stranger danger, get the hell away from me. Oh yeah, dude, he screwed that one up.
Dude, the Yin Yang Twins, Mike Jones, I feel like the Yin Yang Twins, dude, they had it on lock for a good while.
For a minute.
But it's like you see their songs like every now and then coming back up, like it almost feels like their songs are kind of resurfacing or just peeking the surface and coming back as like a classic, but then it just kind of dwindles down. And I've also like randomly I'll see them pop up like having shows like over in Bellingham and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I mean, they're still touring and doing their thing.
They just need a Netflix documentary.
Oh, dude.
And then they'll be back in the game.
Oh, dude, I'm sure, man. I mean, they did have some good songs, obviously, for dancing and all that. But yeah, man, it takes you back in time just to think about how much music has changed from like, obviously, back then to now, where, there was some that came in like, one-hit wonders and they just kind of disappeared, right? And, like we were talking about, I think before we started recording this, we were talking about Chameleonaire. Well, did you know that he actually made some very smart investments in tech, and he's coasting out and he's just making a good living, dude. Wow. So he made that one album and that was it.
It doesn't surprise me because Nas made a huge investment with Coinbase.
Yep.
So yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
he's like one of the first guys on that. But it was like a lot of those people, man. If you're in those circles, and you got the right people in your ear, and those are the stories I love because back in the day, man, these artists would be they'd lose everything. MC Hammer losing everything. Yeah. And so it's so cool that you can hear like the rappers that we grew up with ended up staying relevant and staying on top.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of them that
Soulja Boy.
So I mean, he's still pretty out there. I mean, she's pretty wealthy. He's pretty wealthy still. So it's like he might have made some smart investments, and let's not get it twisted though. He was one of the, like, even though some people may not be a fan of him, but like he made quite a bit off his ringtone sales and all that at the time when ringtones were the thing, back in those days. So it's like, he came up in that. So yeah,
you
Big
can't
Draco.
be mad when people figure out a way to make money.
Oh yeah,
you can't be mad.
You got to give them kudos. You got to. It's like they say, adapt or die. You got to adapt to the game and do something.
The most, I'm looking around the podcast room here, studio, and I'm looking at all these shoes, and it just reminds me of Lil Nas X when he put in his own blood.
Oh yeah, the Mischief collab.
Mischief collab.
And they,
is that what it was? Mischief?
And then they ended up pulling those shoes off so quick.
Like, we're gonna keep those.
What's crazy too is that they didn't even normally when they do a collab like that, like the other company has to agree.
Yeah, I think he just went with it.
They literally bought like Nike Air Maxes and filled the air pockets with blood.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and another controversial one was Insane Clown Posse. You know, I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah.
So their Great Malenko album was initially released on Disney Records.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like Walt Disney like woke up from the grave one day and let people know, like, dude, you're about to put this CD out on my, you know, whatever, with my namesake. And so yeah, that one got, oh man, if there's one album I would love to have, it'd be a Disney record. ICP
frame just put out there.
Man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Speaking of music, since we're on top of music, did you see the Eminem's new release, Houdini? The new song Houdini?
I think I did, but I don't know much about it.
Well, I guess he brought like Slim Shady back, and it was cool.
That's what it was.
He brought like the persona Slim Shady back, and it was cool because he did a lot of reference scenes in the music video of him wearing like that the superhero outfit he wore, and he's back with Dre in the Lamborghini when they're driving from that Without Me song. So they're so it's pretty cool to see that. Like, okay, that's cool to pay homage to. Like, what I would think, for me, my personal opinion, peak Eminem. Well, that's like what the Eminem show was kind of like the ceiling at that point, and then he just started kind of dwindling.
Well, he just got really dark with his music. I think his soul was just so conflicted.
Yeah,
and I think that he thought that the music industry was making fun of him with his Slim Shady moniker.
Yeah.
And so, but for those of us that loved Eminem from the beginning, we loved Slim Shady because we were like, look what somebody did with hip hop and was able to like be fun with it, witty, and still be a king lyricist.
Yeah.
That's what we loved.
Yeah.
And then when he was just putting the Slim Shady away, and then just being super serious and dark, and it was like, oh,
that's a little too much.
let's just go to the Yin Yang Twins.
It's kind of interesting that Eminem came up because remember the episode or so ago we were talking about how Drake like has stayed relevant for so long.
Yeah.
And like how Eminem definitely hit that wall like you're talking about, like where he hit the ceiling and there was nowhere else for him to go. Have you ever thought about like the tempo being the difference? Like think about what an Eminem song looks like on a piece of paper written down with all the lyrics that he's spitting out compared to Drake. Like Drake's like his little paragraph of I just flipped a switch. Yeah. Like, and it goes down, you know, and he says like one line. It's like after a while, Eminem, you can only say so much.
Right.
Like, so that's why I think that like eventually everybody had enough of it is because there was nothing else he could really say. Like he'd already said everything.
I see what you're saying.
You know? I think it just got, it's like listening to a scientist, you know, like listen to your favorite podcast scientist. It just is going to get boring. You know, it's just so repetitious and nothing. He's always going to be probably the best lyricist in hip hop until someone can eventually take that crown. But that could be a while. But it's just the same blah, 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 like, oh, okay. You know, but I mean, when he would put out the Rap God, you know, he was just fitting all those lyrics in that. I mean, I'm like, it's true. It's true. No one can mess with him. And, you know, so it's just, he's a lethal weapon, though. I mean, for anyone to ever think to come and diss him lyrically, like I could diss him all day because like, what's he going to do? Make a song? Like I'm not making a diss record back and it's only going to make me more famous. So go ahead. I benefit from an Eminem diss. So Eminem, please.
If you have a lot of free time,
do the honors. But at the same time, it gets so the same thing. He doesn't mix it up enough. And, you know, and that's what is so nice when Drake came out. He added something melodic to the music and something that
rap and sing.
Nelly just tried to do, but just Dre's like
Nelly's an interesting one. Nelly's an interesting one too because he was. You know what's funny you say that because he's almost like a Drake-esque type of musician from back in the days because he wasn't more like a lyricist, but if you listen to the bars, he has some bars in there, but it's the takeaways that he was singing it almost.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like was driven because Country Grammar, I picked up that CD up when it came out.
Hot shit,
dude. Yeah.
Sweat, you remember Sweat and Suit?
I'm going down now, baby.
Remember he released the 2-part. It was Sweat and Suit.
Oh, I remember that one too.
Sweat and Suit, you know, my place.
Oh man. Yeah, dude. That was a good one.
No, but dude, I mean, really, you are right about that comparison. I think because he like tried to reach like a lot. He tried to kind of stay with the times.
Yeah,
like he was one of the first rappers to do a country crossover.
Yep,
I remember Tim McGraw.
Yep,
Tim
yep.
McGraw song.
Over and
Banger.
over
Well, no,
again.
and he did another one too. That was like way bigger than that too.
Oh,
yeah.
What? I think I know what you're talking about.
And
Yeah,
I forget
yeah,
off the top of my head. The Welcome to My House. Welcome to my.
Was that him?
house. I'm pretty sure he's.
no,
Oh, no,
that's
a different
Florida.
guy.
That's Florida.
He is on another one though. He is on another one.
I can't name that. I can't name that.
see.
I can't remember the name of it though. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's right. There's another one. But yes, you see, he was one of those ones where he was,
Cruise. The Florida Georgia Line song.
Oh,
Baby
that's Nelly?
song. Yeah, and he gets on the remix. And he's like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to pop that in. On the way home.
yeah. But no, the way that they both stayed relevant for as long as they did, also, if you think about it, because like Eminem show, right? And then there's a large gap where he was just featuring.
Yeah.
And those were all of his best songs after when he was just like, he was one of those artists, I feel like Eminem, where he always wanted to go solo. He didn't really want to have features and stuff on his album.
I don't think he played well with others.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
so-
he never had a lot of friends in high school, and I think it just always stayed the same. Like because he was so isolated for so long, he never learned how to interact with people socially. I think I think he is socially inept. I'll be honest with that.
Yeah, because he's really low key. Like you don't really hear much of him in the news or anything like that. The only thing that came up as of recent, which congratulations to his daughter, got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So so it's like that's the only thing that you really hear of him, or unless like they're bringing him up in regards to like lyricism, like who are the top 5 lyricists in the game, like from the past or even now, like who's even at the top of their level, still. So I mean, he's just low key.
Sounds like he's the Kobe Bryant of rap.
Yeah.
Everybody, same with Jordan. Like nobody really, he didn't really have a lot of friends.
No, he was savage.
So
dude.
Kobe, the same thing. Like
Yeah.
It's funny in Kobe's when he gets drafted. Literally, the thing that says is weakness is relationship with teammates.
Oh, really?
That's what it said. It said that on
That
there.
is
Yeah,
cold.
as his weakness. Yeah.
I remember this. Someone told this story. I don't know which basketball player specifically who said this, but he was saying that he was egging Kobe to go to the club, like egging him, but Kobe was more focused on like the game and
Iverson.
practicing all that. And he's like, okay, I'll go to the club, but right after the club, we're gonna go back to the gym and we're gonna practice. And I guess he stopped bugging him about it because he's like, there's no point, go to the club and then go to practice. Like, no, but he's like, no, that's the only way I'll do it. If not, then I'm not gonna go. So he just never went.
So,
They never
I
went.
guess it comes down to you got to be like, I guess, crazy at that point. A little bit crazy to be so far into that zone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think that sounds like Iverson.
I think it probably is. I think it's probably
Allen
is.
Iverson was.
I might have
like,
butchered that story, but yeah, it's something like that though.
I want to say they were. I want to say it was like after like the All-Star game or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were and they were like, yeah, we're going out to the club to celebrate. He's like, to celebrate what? He's like, I got to get back in the gym, man.
That's what Iverson said?
Yeah. No, that's what Kobe said. Iverson was trying to go to the club.
Okay.
Iverson was trying to go to the club, and then Kobe was like, he's like, I'm not going to the club.
I believe that with Iverson because I remember he's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Practice. We're talking about practice.
Well, dude, I can't blame some of these guys. It sounds crazy for us to like kind of, when we look at it and we're like, oh, Iverson was out drinking till 6 a.m. the night before a game. When you hear some of these stories about these old timers, they were going ham. I mean, they were like not going to bed.
Yeah.
Not going to bed, staying out, the late, like the Showtime Lakers, like Magic Johnson, like not going to bed for like 2 days.
Jesus,
Just on a bender, just hooking up with chicks, doing
slaying
coke,
left and right, dude.
like just, and just dominating everybody, right?
They call it magic for a reason.
I mean, you could also start calling him magic too. That the fact he still doesn't have AIDS.
Oh, dude, I know, right, dude? Yeah, he overbeat that. I mean, shit.
He overbeat that. That's for sure.
Damn.
Yeah,
But yeah, also the story about Dennis Rodman, how he went to Vegas.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan's like, all right, go get out of your system, but come back because we're gonna,
yeah. And he pulled down like 24 rebounds the next day.
He was an animal.
They were built different back
He
in the
got
day.
married to Carmen Electra in Vegas, and then flew back the same morning, and then played.
Wow.
and grabbed 27 rebounds with no sleep.
Oh my God. What about Tyson? Is his discipline, was he ever like going out to the club? I mean, it might be different with boxing.
I'm sure he was a wild boy, because he was, I mean, he even said it on this other podcast. I forgot who he was talking to. But he was saying, like, dude, he was spending money left and right and just, partying it up and all that while being the heavyweight champion at the same time. So it's like, like, how can you balance that as a person, like being able to go and do your thing, but then you got to realize I got to fight like in a couple of days, and then you got to buckle down and then win that fight. Yeah. That's just some animal shit, dude. It's like, damn, you're pretty ruthless at that point,
Animal.
But you got to like balance it, right? Like, where's that balance? That's like the craziest thing of all, finding that balance of like having fun, but then when it's time to get serious, you got to get serious at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he was an animal. He was a beast, dude.
I guess Tyson used to just fuck like an animal. That's what they said. They said like leading up to the fights, like he would fuck like literally any chick, like any girl that was like good looking. He's like, oh, I fucked the shit out of her. Like he's just like an animal, dude. He's like, because I was ferocious. I think they talked about it in the it was either the Impulsive podcast or the Milk Boys, the Full Send podcast, and he was talking about how he was just slaying everything in sight.
Wow. Well, dude, the dude wanted to fight a gorilla. He asked. So the story went that he was at the zoo and this gorilla was like punking all these other apes, and he didn't like that. He's like, how much could I pay you to go in there to see if I could go one round with him, or like
that would not be good.
Like, bro, a silverback.
Oh, bam. He would have died. I'm sorry.
I mean, so.
As much as it'd be interesting to see, I don't think you're coming out of that, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Right on the top of the head, dude.
Dead. So that was crazy.
Goodness for the person that had the common sense to not allow that.
Bro, Mr. Like Tyson, we don't want you to die. So
fucking launch him like a paper airplane up against the wall.
But you brought this up. So since we're on Tyson, the fight got postponed. I think that's what I heard. It got postponed. It's not canceled, but it's still going to happen. But I believe it was on Tyson's behalf. Something happened. I want to go ahead and say it's something medical related. Yeah. So he wasn't able to train like he was doing so up until this point to get ready for his fight against Jake Paul, which we were actually planning to watch live and actually live stream it here with the boys here and watch it, which was going to take place in July. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So, to be announced when that's going to take place or when they're going to reschedule that for. We'll definitely have to, reschedule our live streaming for that too as well. So we can be, watching the fight and engage with our followers and listeners so we can all semi-watch it together, I guess, quote unquote, right? So, yeah, that sucks. That's not going to take place. So, I mean, it would have been cool to see. It would have been cool to watch, right? Because it was going to be for free. For anybody that had Netflix, it was going to be for free, so you don't have to pay anything extra. So it would have been just a cool night with the boys and just, chill and watch it. But
so it could still happen.
It could still happen.
But with that news, with that revelation that he, is a geriatric and had some, old man issues, does that change any of your opinions on how he's going to go against he's fighting Jake Paul?
Jake Paul. Yeah. I don't know, man. Just depending how serious whatever this is medical related. I don't know how serious it is, or if it's like how much of interference is going to be towards him. So let's be real. I mean, Tyson's 58, 59, something like that. So I mean, he's old. He's up there in age, man. He's not a young pup like he was once before. So I don't know, man. I mean, it just depends, really. I mean, we're gonna pull this up here on our jumbotron right here and see what's going on.
Oh, okay.
So this is quote unquote. You want to read the quote, guys? I'll read it. Go ahead. Okay. So this is what Tyson's comment said. I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I've been advised by my doctor to line up my training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you'll still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. Woo! I appreciate everyone's patience and can't wait to deliver an unforgettable performance later this year. So there you have it. So now Paul says, I fully support postponing the event so Mike Tyson has no excuse to come fight. Has no excuses come fight night. My fans know I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything but his best. But let there be no mistake. When he steps into the ring with me, I will be ready to claim my W with a sensational finish. Paul versus Tyson will be one for the ages, and I promise to bring my best for a once-in-a-lifetime matchup. So it's ulcer flare-up.
Yeah. Fuck out.
Okay, so then there's this. Okay, so now this is in the mix too. So this
Are you kidding me?
So supposedly he wants to fight his brother in boxing.
Dude, he's gonna get destroyed.
Okay, so
Logan
who's he?
Paul. Logan Paul
is his brother.
is gonna
It's his
get
brother.
Logan Paul would
Yeah.
get destroyed
Oh
by
my
Jake
god,
Paul?
yeah. Have you seen Logan box?
I've
No.
seen him box. I saw the Mayweather and the one that he did.
He
Like
looked
clips
like
of
a
it?
he looked like a kid in like a schoolyard fight when he got a chance to land a punch. He started like doing this thing where
Yeah.
he wasn't even, you could tell like he didn't really know how to throw a punch.
I will say this: I would give my money on. I would put my money on Jake only because he's actually had, from what it looks like, legitimate training in boxing.
I think Jake Paul
Yeah.
would knock him out.
Yeah, I think
probably.
Jake. Yeah, I honestly
and
think.
me knowing nothing, just the fact that Jake Paul is the one taking Tyson on, I'm gonna go with him.
The
My
fact,
senses are saying.
honestly, dude, like I said before, Logan Paul is a fucking scumbag.
Ooh.
Seriously, no, he
Oh.
really is. Like he's trying to fight his brother and like use this as a business opportunity.
Yeah.
Who's
Like-
the Paul brother that went to that?
The one on the right, the Japanese.
Yeah,
suicide
Yeah,
force.
yeah,
that's the one I don't like.
Yeah, he's a complete douchebag, and he's dating Hollywood's. Oh, he's having a kid with like
that's
a
right.
chick that
Good
dated
father,
like
yeah.
8 celebrities or something. This chick literally got tossed around. She got tossed around like secondhand Jordans, like all over the city.
From Valley Village.
Yeah, and then
from Goodwill.
and then he wifed her up, and now he's having a kid with her. And
I mean, not much
bless
different
him.
than what you're gonna get downtown,
dude, you know what's pretty crazy about this? People are actually saying that Logan is might be the most hated person in the world.
For just
Like
just,
actually, just straight up, like if you just voted like who's the most hated man in the world, like he would win.
Wow,
So
even
as-
more than Epstein.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm a, maybe.
Maybe.
Wouldn't it be funny?
That was the
Seems
line.
like number 3. Trump's number 2.
okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so that would be interesting, right? If the two brothers come together and they actually duke it out. I would say they would do numbers only because it's the brother aspect of
Yeah.
it, and there's just seems like there's
not
always
gonna
been
happen.
some type of animosity between them two, right? It just seems
Really?
like,
It's jealousy from the big brother.
yeah, okay.
Oh,
Dude.
so Logan is the big brother.
Yeah,
Jake
he's like
is the young
jealous,
brother?
Yeah.
jealous of Jake.
I bet you.
Okay.
And you know what's funny? I don't know if you've heard, but their podcast is completely falling apart now.
The
Impulsive.
Okay.
Mike Majak, the main one of the main dudes.
Yes, we talked about it a while ago. Yeah, he's
left,
on his own.
He left the podcast.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm just done with this shit.
See, that's
Like,
something that'll never happen to this podcast. This
Yeah.
podcast will never fall apart.
yeah.
We're super glued together now,
If
man.
anything, we'll be sitting on the same chair if we all start making that kind of money.
Yeah.
I'll put my cheek on the edge of the chair.
Who's the guy that left the podcast? Bring him on here.
Yeah.
We'll do some numbers.
Dude, yeah, but God, it's crazy that how quickly like he has that WWE thing and the Prime thing, so he's always gonna have money, right?
Yeah.
But like at what expense? Would you
True.
want to be the most hated person in the world?
Some people do.
yeah,
I
some
don't think I
do.
would.
Some people would thrive off it, but here's the thing, right? Again, finding balance on like, okay, everybody may dislike you, which obviously is not a good thing, but at the end of the day, the dude's got money to where like he can just be like, whatever. Like, what's this hate from people I don't even know to me being, wealthy and being well off to where I got nothing to worry about for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just depends, right? It's like to each their own. I sure wouldn't like it. Like I would just try to be the best person that I can be. Hopefully people either going to like me or dislike me. You're always going to have people that are going to do both. That's just the name of the game. But for someone like him, that's obviously putting his stuff out there to where, obviously it's going to trigger off some people. He's going to get the best of both worlds. But I think a good majority would be like, you'll see the people that are obviously going to dislike you. And it's more like obvious, right? Like it's more out there that people just are not going to mess with you at all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This is something that just stuck
What's
out.
going
to me.
on here?
So Dennis Rodman's daughter, Trinity Rodman, is the highest paid player in national women's soccer.
interesting.
Scroll down. I want to see that.
That's his daughter?
That's his daughter. Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Is that the one with Carmen Electra or
Oh yeah, he was the one that married Carmen Electra.
no?
we were just
is-
talking.
No,
No, but
is that
who's-
the
who's
daughter?
the-
What's
No,
the
that's
daughter?
his daughter.
But from who?
What mom?
Trinity Rodman's mom. Let's
It's
see.
got to be.
I didn't even know
Carmen,
you had
right?
a daughter. I didn't even know you had a daughter.
I didn't
I
know
don't think
either. but
Michelle
she's-
Moyer.
Oh, Michelle Moyer. Oh, okay.
Who's that lady?
Oh, all right.
Who's doing his
Yeah.
Go Rodman, man.
Nice jeans.
Yeah. Dang. So highest paid soccer female player, right?
Okay.
Oh, she was on an episode of
Totally
Pawn Stars. She was selling some of his signed jerseys.
Oh, no way.
That's where I saw her. That's where I saw her.
Yeah,
That's
won't
crazy.
need these anymore.
You can totally see the looks.
Yeah.
from both
Yeah.
parents too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the daughter's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is.
So she plays soccer, highest
Looks like
paid.
she's the highest paid.
Huh. Okay.
That's good. That's
Kudos to you.
nice.
Keeping it in sports, probably making your father very proud. So yeah.
42,000.
She's only 19?
Wow.
young.
1.1 million guaranteed. Damn.
That's
Washington,
pretty
is
good.
Washington's here?
money in the
No,
bank.
that's got to be the because we have some reference to the what's our men's team? Sounders.
the Sounders.
It's something
Sounders.
like that. It's like something like the Sounders, but it's like the Storm and the. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
You know,
so
what
it's got to
I'm
be
saying? It's like something close.
the Sounder is a train, the name of our train.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something that related, right?
Probably, yeah. Huh.
Oh,
Washington
the
Spirit.
rain.
Oh, rain.
The rain. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good. That's
Yeah.
like that reminds me of like Sean Kemp, and like Seattle Rain, right?
Yeah, it looks like they're not very
That's a good name.
No,
Yeah.
last place.
Orlando,
Last place.
Orlando
Still
Pride.
getting 1.1 mil though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man.
Well, no, I mean Washington.
Oh, we're
the
losing.
Team, that's the team she plays for.
Oh,
is
but we're
Washington.
losing. Oh, yeah, we lost.
Seattle's
Yeah, we suck.
terrible. Yeah,
We suck. We don't
Yeah.
even watch soccer, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it looks like the Washington
Interesting
Spirit.
facts.
Yeah.
Interesting facts.
Anyways,
No,
yeah.
good stuff.
Now we're on girls soccer,
Dude,
which actually
And next.
USA soccer, USA women's soccer. I was watching. I don't know if you guys saw. I was watching. They're doing. I want to say Olympic qualifiers.
Yeah.
but they have been like a powerhouse team like for their entire existence. And
Yeah.
last World Cup was their worst finish like in the last. I want to say like 40 years or something like that. So they got a new coach. So I'm interested to see how they do in the Summer Olympics this year. So yeah,
Wow.
we'll see what
Interesting.
happens. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
you go girls.
You go,
Yeah.
you go, girls. So something that Brad brought to our attention, which you find interesting in regards to just, us being content creators ourselves, right?
Yeah.
You brought up a interesting documentary from what it seems that's on Netflix.
Oh,
What's the name of it again? Just so we can have this correct and people can check out and give us their
Let's
opinions.
check it out. It's like 7. I know the group is called 7M.
Dancing with the Devil, right?
Yeah,
Dancing
dancing.
with the Devil. So
Dancing with the Devil. The
Dancing
7M.
for the Devil.
The 7M TikTok cult.
okay, so let's read a little, just a brief summary of what this documentary is about. If you can pull it up real quick, which I find it very interesting because it resembles a lot of the stuff we were talking about, like Scientology, just how they can influence people, to join their following or whatever it may have
Right.
you. So obviously, the summary of this documentary is called "TikTok Dancers Are Trapped in a Cult Masquerading as a management." I butchered that. Masquerading as a management company called 7M, as dancers and former members escape and work to rebuild their lives. They come together to put a stop to a cycle and heal. But so lo and behold, that this 7M, whatever it is pretty much a straight up cult, right? And they're just getting people, I guess, into whatever they want to call it, to join them. But lo and behold, the person that actually started this is pretty much robbing them of their money, certain percentage wise, right?
Oh, dude, they're Well,
So fill us in.
So
in.
Robert Shim is the leader.
Yes. So essentially, what it was is it affected quite a few families. I want to say in California. This is in California, LA. Yeah, LA.
Oh, okay.
So they focus on a few of these families, but basically these kids, most of them are. I want to say all of them were of age. They were all 18 and over.
Yeah.
But they were TikTok famous dancers. So some of them were professionally, like organized dancers.
Okay.
On Dancing with the Stars, like some of the
So pretty prominent, areas of,
people that were already making money.
Okay.
1.8 million followers. I think the lowest followers I saw on that was like 100,000 on one of them, but most of them were millions. And they go to this guy who, claims to be a pastor and, starts a small church. And then lo and behold, years later, when some of these people are trying to get out, they show the logs of all the money that they were, going back and forth with and changing hands. And he was logging it as all these different entities that were receiving this money, and all of them were directly back to him.
Wow. So he's making up people that were getting this so-called money.
Yes,
but it's all funneling back.
So they were. I want to say off the top of my head, they showed the thing, and it was like 10% for giving for church. What do they call it again?
Tithing.
Yeah. So 10% for that. And then they go, 10% for living there. Right.
Like your rent pretty much.
Right. And then the 30% management fee for the guy who's the pastor. So essentially they're getting 50% of the money right off top pre-tax. And all this money is logged. And like when you see the amounts, it is crazy. Like 134,000, 87,000, 92,000. And this is money like communion is what I was looking for. It's being exchanged like to the church. Like, you're supposed to give a certain percentage of your earnings.
Yeah.
And some of these people were making millions of dollars. So they're giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to this guy.
Insane.
One of them, I want to say, made millions and left with nothing. Wow. Had nothing. Yeah,
it's pretty much working for free.
How do you get in a position where you leave with nothing?
Well, when you're getting taxed down so hard, right, and you're paying people to do X, Y, and Z, I'm sure more and more money gets pried out of their pockets, right? Because they handle all the production and all the different things.
That goes into
social media. And I know the guy had his kid. Robert Shim or whatever, the leader, his son was the guy who was filming everything for them. So he was getting a cut. He was also getting a cut.
Wow.
And so, but definitely recommend it. The guy's an absolute dirtbag.
Yeah. So what was, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anything. I probably never watched it, but so when did they catch wind of this going on? Like, when was this? Is this, because this is new? I've never heard of it personally.
I want to say it's been pretty recently.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
like this is like pretty new, like to the point where I pulled this up just now.
Yeah.
And that top comment, the Miranda, sometimes you just got to stop and smell the coffee. That's the chick that they still haven't talked to yet. The two really beautiful girls that they show at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that one on the right, she never came home. Even after all this shady shit came out about
nothing, so no word,
she goes to events and stuff with this guy that she met in the cult.
Yeah.
And they're just like together, but they don't acknowledge the family at all.
Anybody else?
They don't the sisters don't even talk anymore.
That's gonna be some like high level just brainwash corruption at that point. For you to just ignore your blood, your family, your friends, or whoever, and not acknowledge them at all. Like, just look at look the other way and just that's it. I mean, this dude, like I said, he must be super convincing for him to like get you in and then tell you that these people don't exist in your life anymore, or something on that nature. I don't know, but it's crazy.
Well, it sounds like he lured him with money.
Yeah.
Tricked him, told him everything they wanted to hear. And then the secondary approach would be use, faith, emotions, and, just soften you up. And then until you're trapped.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely watch it. It just caught our interest, right? Because it's we've heard of different, examples like this, right? Where we were talking about Waco, right? We were talking about
Heaven's Gate. That was a crazy one.
Scientology too, as well. Like the main leader, the Miscavige, his wife, nowhere to be seen. Like, they're still missing to this day, but they say that she's still there. Oh yeah, she's okay. We just saw her not too long ago, but it's like they haven't heard of her, or there's rumors that she might have got killed.
Wow.
So it's like, there's some pretty crazy stuff out there in regards to something like this, where in reference to a cult. So man, it's pretty serious when it gets to this level, right?
Yeah,
that's insane, man.
Yeah, okay. This thing with the sisters going on, which you'll see if you guys watch this. The two main characters of the Wilkins family.
Yeah, it's
Miranda, Wilking, and Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Miranda and Melanie is who it is. But Miranda's the one who's like still estranged. Like, she has never come back. And the whole thing is just like kind of mind boggling that successful people can also be brainwashed.
Oh, dude, yeah,
You know,
that's the
because you
thing,
would
yeah.
think these people have it all. Like at the beginning of TikTok, they have like 5 million followers on TikTok.
And you're making money at that
They're
point.
running.
bro. Yeah.
They're running a sister thing, like a sister, like the Wilkins family, and they're like vlogging and doing all this shit. And then all of a sudden, like
Here comes whoever. Then all of a sudden, just quickly mind.
You know,
Your mind changes.
there was
almost immediately.
a Netflix documentary that I watched that was really, really good. That Ashley Madison one.
Ashley Madison.
I
you
saw
seen
that.
it?
I saw
Ashley
that
Madison.
too.
Wait. I might have seen it. My wife watches all this stuff, and I watch it with her, and it's like, tell me about it.
It was an amazing documentary. The way they did it from beginning to end. It was 3 episodes, but basically, so in the early 2000s, right? Or no, it was 2015.
Okay.
It was pretty recent.
All right.
There was this website, so dating website, but it was marketed for people to have an affair, for married couples, or so not married couples. It was just the unhappy person in the relationship to, hey, come out and have this affair. And so that's how they were marketing it. Well, so they show the stories. Basically what happened was they were hated. The founders, the website was completely hated all over the world. Because I mean, you're coming into families and completely breaking it up because one of the people would come out and try to have this set up an affair. So the website was promising its users, hey, you can use this, and when you're done using this site, we will delete all of your information for an extra $20. Right? So people would be done with this information, done with their site. Okay, you know what? Whatever. And so one of the couples that I was watching, it was a young Christian couple.
Yeah.
And you had sparked me thinking about this with the YouTube thing. So this young couple, they end up starting getting this gathering or whatever, this popularity on their couple's YouTube page. Well, the guy didn't say anything, but he had joined Ashley Madison.
Yeah.
He joined the website. And so he's telling everybody, his YouTube followers, hey, I'm a big devout Christian. I wouldn't do any of this, whatever. Or, not even saying that. At first, he was trying to deny it.
And they weren't famous when he originally signed up.
He wasn't famous
Right.
before they blew up. And so then Ashley Madison had gotten hacked. And they had all of the user information, everybody's user information, names, photos, conversation,
Where they work,
everything. Everything. And so now fast forward, he is famous. He's in Seattle, on his way to Seattle, and they're going to like some vlogging convention, and he's at an airport. I think it was Arizona or something like that, Phoenix. And someone sends him a text saying, hey, is this you? So now he's like, oh boy, do I say something? So at first he tells his wife, hey, something I need to come out with you about and come clean with you. And yeah, I was on that website, but it was just a quick thing. And so he like kind of told her, but didn't really. So then they go to this convention. And she's like, yeah, I know everything. He told me, but I'm supporting him, whatever.
That's crazy.
But then the full story came out. And now she's left with just egg on her face, looking like a complete idiot, defending her husband, who didn't tell her everything.
Who, by the way, was like the dirtbag of all dirtbags, too.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Like seeing hookers, going to strip clubs, like literally when he's with a religious woman.
And mind you, this woman that he's with was
oh my
10.
God.
I mean, she was a 10.
Straight dime.
Just like, but good.
Oh my God.
Everything a man could ever hope for in a wife. She was it. She was funny, spontaneous. I mean, everything. Perfect mother.
Supporting.
Cooks good.
Everything.
Phenomenal baker, maybe.
Everything.
Probably made the best chocolate chip cookies you could ever want.
Yeah, okay.
Want.
Love me some cookies.
So, yeah. So now she's like, whatever, now. And so so this and so that was just one story, but there were other stories. I mean, there was people that ended up committing suicide over this stuff. And it was because the founders, when these people would go to pay to get their information wiped, they weren't really doing it.
You see that?
And there were people in the company saying, hey, these people are paying for this service. Don't you think we should provide this service? But the founders were so money driven. They were just like, don't even worry about it.
See, man, to have that on your conscience, right? You're not only creating a app or a service where you can have this become a reality to where, like, when money's involved, there's paper trail involved. This was set up for destruction from the very beginning, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, I think at this point, like, it may be a good way to make money and all that, but just the way they had this set up, it's like you're pretty much paying for devastation at this point. And what comes out of it is pretty much like a warning. This could happen given that these circumstances, if this were to get hacked or whatever,
right?
This could just completely collapse down at any given moment. And just to think that people took their lives like for this, for this, it's insane to me. Like so my question is, I mean, I don't want to ruin this for anybody that hasn't seen it. I'm sure that that app or that service is pretty much cut down, right?
You would think. Ooh. You would think.
Okay.
No, my man. It is still going. It is still going. So the original founder ended up walking away, had to get out of it. But somebody new took over, and it's still there. It's still there.
That's the guy.
So Sam crazy. And Nia Raider.
Yeah.
Were the couple. And so she ends up taking him back. And I mean,
forgiving woman, man. Very
this was back
woman,
in his hooker days.
Yeah, that's when
He's got the dirty stash.
Seems like the type of dude that would, definitely have a fun weekend out with the boys.
He switched up. Look what he used to look like. Look what he looked like, and then all of a sudden he gets famous. Switched up.
Oh yeah.
Super white tee.
Oh, now he's in good shape. He's got a tan on,
rocking those freaking what is it? Ray-Bans. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Makes sense. I mean, dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that, like I said, they came up with this.
That guy's a fucking dirtbag.
They came up with this service for anybody pretty much looking to get an affair, have an affair, right?
Have an affair.
And for $20, we can delete everything. You don't have to worry about it. Keep doing your thing.
And then
that is insane.
My thing with this guy is that when you see how easily he completely just like pushed off that other situation, like, well, she didn't know the full story, and he's like, and the way he lied was so professional. I mean, it was like the guy was he always has something to blame something on, and even at the end, he's like, oh well, the reason why I told her is because my pastor told me. Do you remember?
Right, that was in Seattle.
Yeah, and you know how much I want to bet that's bullshit. He probably knew something else was coming, and he used that as the excuse to like pad it up a little bit more.
Right,
like he had no intention of telling her. He was never going to tell her. The only reason why he did is because he got caught. I honestly think she deserves a lot better. I know that she has kids with them, but that guy's a fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's going to do the same thing again. She's going to catch him at Asian massage parlors.
That's the thing. I don't think his days are over. I think he's just someone who is, he could have everything in the world and he'll never be happy. No, I think he's dead on. I think he's dead on. That guy.
I think when it's at that level, you're right.
There was no, I mean, I'm watching this documentary and I'm like, there is no apology in him. He is not. No. I mean, he's the only thing he's sorry about is that he got caught.
He wants it to be over with. I don't know if you guys have ever been in an argument with your girls before, and it's like they'll say something to you, and it's totally just not like what you want to like resolve it, and you can tell that they just want it to be over. Mm-hmm. Like they just want the conversation to be over, mm-hmm. and that's like what he kind of did. Is he was almost like pushing the conversations to like go through all the way to where you couldn't really even fully think like what he's saying. I don't know, just really manipulative.
Sounds like a lot of fucking work for you to be at that level to like, if you know you're messing up, dude, just split up, let her go her way, just do your thing if you can do it, but not stick together. And now like you're making it look like complete, just not a smart person to going back to this dude, but it's like,
it does make her, because like you can't help but like her.
Yeah.
And like she's a really sweet lady, like southern. She has like a southern accent.
They're from Texas, from Dallas.
Yeah, and so she's really got that like southern comfort kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's sad.
I tell you what, I mean, she'll probably stick with him until the kids are out of the house.
Oh yeah,
and then she'll finally get a real.
Well, he's probably going to do it again before they leave.
Guaranteed.
So and it's just going to be whether they can keep that a secret or not.
That's cool.
Yeah,
this is crazy, dude. Wow, a lot of stories we missed, boys. A lot of stories we missed, man. This world is crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it is insane, man. But yeah. Well,
are we gonna go into that?
We want to go into that. So, okay, here's what I want to say about this, and it's been in the back of my mind, right? So, from my understanding, and I'm speaking it just kind of how I see it from my perspective on how I'm understanding this and why it's going down the way it's gone down. So, apparently, this all started from Stormy Daniels, correct? Stormy Daniels is obviously an adult
another
film
husband
star.
who cheated on his wife.
So she's an adult film star, correct? And apparently our president at the time used campaign funds. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me. Allegedly. We won't say allegedly. Used campaign funds to pay for Stormy Daniels' services and hush money, correct? Mm-hmm. And this is kind of how it came about, because she went out and pretty much said like, hey, this is what the president did, and I'm just pretty much putting it out there and let the chips fall where they may. And obviously it ended up becoming a lawsuit, correct?
She did it for a book deal, but let's be real. Come on.
So they had an NDA.
Okay.
Non-disclosure agreement, and she ended up
breaking that.
Yeah. And
so that she broke pretty much a lot.
She had to pay him $130,000. Had to pay Trump for breaking it. But the story was out, and so then all of a sudden, all of the fall through ended up taking place, and they charged him with 34 felonies.
But why 34? Like, how does that equal up for it to be 34 felonies committed by him? I mean, I don't know too much into it.
Full charge, but I mean, that's what they were trying to. So that's the thing, right? This is such a far-reaching charge to come at somebody. No one has ever faced this type of a thing.
Yeah.
So you can't help but think or believe that they are just the Democrats are doing everything in their power to stop him from being president again. Mm-hmm. And so they're throwing all kinds of things. And so this isn't the last charge. This isn't the last case that he's going to have to deal with. He has 3 more cases that are in the works.
Okay.
And
so how does this compare to where Bill Clinton was literally getting topped off in the Oval Office by Monica Lewinsky, and the only thing that, from what I can recall, he faced was just him having to step down from being a president, correct?
Well, he got impeached, and he still finished.
No, let's be real. So how does that?
But that's not. There's also a girl that he actually had to pay off. Paula something. There's a woman that he had to pay off. It's not Monica Lewinsky.
Okay.
Someone else. There was an affair that he had. He paid her off, and she went on her way.
So this other chick, Stormy, was just being rebellious and pretty much just wanted to, like Brad was saying, because of a book deal.
People are getting in, the Democratic people, the enemies of Trump and his campaign, are like, hey, listen, if you come out with this, we will pay you. We will make sure that we'll pay everything.
Okay.
But
that
we
makes
need
more
a
sense.
sensational story that can take this man down.
So
So they're adding more gasoline to the fire.
There's just more people involved than just Stormy.
I can see that.
She's effectively the Michael Jordan of porn, if you think about it. The reason why.
No way.
So if you think about this, Jordan got Nike to pay his fines because he wore the shoes.
Oh yeah, you couldn't wear color red, right? Color red.
So she got everyone to pay for so now she can spill the beans, right? So
Wait,
she's like,
go to the Jordan
so
one?
Jordan. This is kind of a reach, but Jordan shoes. So you could only wear a certain color.
You couldn't wear red during the time, right?
Yeah, you could only be 2 colors. It was like white and black or something like that. And Nike came out with this shoe for Jordan that was red and black.
Red and black, yeah.
And that's why they're called the band OG ones.
Oh wow.
They're like, well, we're gonna find Michael $25,000 per game every time he wears this, and Nike's like, we'll pay it.
Wow.
So technically, Stormy Daniels is the Michael Jordan of porn.
In that reference, yeah, I would agree.
What a connection. Only on the Beyond Expectations
Stormy Daniels,
podcast.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Wow.
Different professions.
Free throw.
Different professions. Very talented.
That's
Anyway.
funny.
Insane. Okay, so that's why he's getting 34 counts, 34 felonies.
That's why he's been convicted of 43. So
He's a felon.
34. Yeah, he's a felon now. So and he hasn't even been sentenced yet. So
Yeah.
technically, he could serve jail time for this stuff. And it wouldn't surprise me if they kept him in jail long enough to until November.
Could we see the debates from a prison cell?
Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be so gangster.
And
I
wouldn't
think
it
that'd
be
so
even
gangster,
amazing
dude.
In
if
the orange suit.
he still won? He still won.
And if he still won, bro, imagine how crazy people would go.
There's nothing that says he can't
Like,
do it.
I swear on the internet, someone said,
sure?
I swear.
But I mean,
It's like from a prison cell, like active sentence, like all that
So,
kind of stuff. That-
imagine
you know what
this,
I mean?
guys.
Someone said-
Imagine if. Okay, so we know that Hillary had the laptop.
Oh, yeah.
That she bleached it and destroyed it. Had destroyed 33,000 emails that were what do you call it? Classified and all
Benghazi.
that. So Benghazi, right?
why is
But I'm
she
talking
not
about
in
the
prison?
crimes that
the
can put her
crimes.
in jail.
yeah.
Why is she not in prison?
Joe Biden was
dude.
also caught with classified documents in
His son doing coke in
Delaware
the freaking
house,
White House.
doing the same thing that Trump did, right? And so I'm saying if Trump gets in, Hillary and Biden and anyone else who is like Alvin Bragg, if he has anything on his record, this lady in Georgia, I forget her name, but if they have anything at all, the redemption is going to be hell on these guys.
Oh yeah,
He's gonna come
I
up
didn't-
with a
honestly
style,
didn't
yeah.
even think about that.
This is
all
the
the
end of
data.
democracy as we know it. So when people are talking about this trial, they were talking about if Trump gets in office, that's the end of democracy. No, this trial, him getting convicted of 34 felonies over an issue that, by the way, is going to get appealed and is most likely going to go away. He's not going to have to deal with any of this. He's not going to be a felon, 34-time felon. It's just not going to stick because the statute of limitations was already over.
Right.
You can't charge somebody with crimes that happened beyond the statute of limitations, and yet they did. They used some legal wrangling to make it stick, and it's just very creative legal acrobatics. It's called what they're calling, the term that they're using it for, using now for this is called lawfare. And it's basically, this is third world banana republic type strategies that they're using. So it's already gone. Democracy is already destroyed as we know it. It's gone. It's over. So don't think that with him being president or not being president, it's already proven that it is destroyed. So let's ride this wave. Let's get him into office and let's just watch the destruction take place.
Let's just watch it all
It's
unfold before
over.
our eyes,
It's
yeah.
already over.
If you put in the terms where like pretty much like kind of how you said it, right, to sum it up, if they can do this to a former president and potentially our future president, they can do it to anybody. They can create any type of case they want, pretty much, right?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the crux of the matter.
Yeah.
Is that they can create a crime. So I mean, like when so you weren't there last week on the podcast, but I was talking about I had seen a freaking UAP.
Yes, sir.
Right by my house.
Yes, sir.
And I'd never seen anything like that. But I saw it over a military area. So I'm thinking, my association is it's our military doing
Yeah.
this. So every day I'm waiting for someone to knock at their door, right? But our government is so corrupt that it's like, if they don't want me talking about this thing, they will create something. They will create something to destroy my credibility, everything. They'll throw everything. They'll create things. They'll fabricate things. They can do so much.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and this proved it. This proved that if they can do this to Trump, they can do it to anybody.
That's pretty crazy.
On a kind of related note, I'm not a financial guru by any means, but you got to think that something like this, if it does stick, it's going to affect him in a lot of different ways. Business, right? Banks, loans, things like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I would assume that loans would be less available to a 34-time felon.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So
100%.
It's gonna be a thorn in his arm, pretty much.
Not just a thorn. They are trying to assassinate his character.
Yeah.
And cripple him at doing anything in the future. Like, they are trying to destroy his whole livelihood. All because, and here's the thing, when the Stormy Daniel thing was going on, nobody cared because he was on The Apprentice. He was giving NBC all their ratings. Everything was going through the roof. Trump, you're fired was the big thing, and they loved him. They idolized him. They idolized him. They did. And then he just happened to decide that, hey, I want to be the Republican nominee. And then everybody turned on him. And then all the people started coming out of the woodworks, throwing this at him, throwing that at him. And this is what we got. This just goes to show how the lengths that they are willing to take to stop someone from running for president. And most people wouldn't be able to stand this amount of pressure. They wouldn't. Vivek Ramaswamy, he wouldn't be able to take this on. Robert Kennedy Jr. would not be able to take this on. Nobody would.
So, okay, let's I'm just curious to see how this would play out. Let's say he's out of the presidential race. Who would be the contender then at that point from the Republican Party?
They would have to. That's the thing. It's never happened in history, so you wouldn't know. I mean, because you still need time to run a campaign. You still need time to all that.
I think honestly, I feel the storm coming if that were to happen, though. If they were to say we don't have nobody from the Republican Party and they pretty much sway it to be on Biden's thing, there's going to be. I can see something happening.
They'll pull some fucker from a school janitor position to say
put him in
running.
there.
Well, that's the thing because they have to pick a nominee. They're held to that, and so. And so the one thing though, while we're talking about this, the same day that Trump was convicted of 34 felonies, the same day Biden gave Ukraine permission
to use the weapons, right?
American weapons in the war, and that was what we think. On our right wing side is the cover up. They're using this Trump thing to flood the news with the fact that on the same day, much more silently, Biden allowed Ukraine to use American weapons.
What do you think about Nikki Haley writing "Go finish the job" on the missiles?
I don't want Nikki Haley anywhere around the White House. She's trash.
Are you effing kidding me? Why would you do that? You're literally writing a death note to whoever those missiles fall on, whatever. It's like, you serious?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I wouldn't sleep all night. And I wouldn't even think about doing that. Like, why? That's not my beef. That's not my problem. I'm not even with whatever it is they're doing or where those missiles are going to land. But it's like, you're adding more salt to the wound. In my opinion.
No, it's terrible. Lindsey Graham is another one in the GOP that he wants nothing more than a war with Russia. And those are the people that Donald Trump and the people following him are against. They're against the Nikki Haley's. They're against the Lindsey Grahams, the warmongers. Anybody, when we had Trump, he was adamant about not having any wars. He was making a deal with Al Qaeda, saying, "Hey, we're going to get out of Afghanistan. Give us some time. Don't break any of these rules. If you do, you FAFO, F around and find out. We'll set that up." But that's why he dropped the Moab on those people. That's why he took out the Iranian president, right? Iranian general leader. But that's also why he connected with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He made that stuff happen. So he was doing everything in his power to let our enemies know, hey, I'm serious enough to drop bombs and take your general out. but I don't want to fight a war. You guys are inviting this. We will take it there if we need to, but we don't want to. Yeah. We don't want to fight a war.
No. Yeah, true. Yeah, there was no.
And then you have the complete opposite with, now Biden's in office and
Ukraine.
The Iran. Russian pipeline that got destroyed.
Yeah,
that was completely CIA operation right there. Sweden wouldn't even report their findings. They were barred from reporting anything, and all this stuff with Ukraine. And it's not just that, but it's like Taiwan. China's been right circling Taiwan, and there's news saying that China could take Taiwan in an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just emboldening our enemies.
Dude, it's going to be very interesting the next couple months in this year, bro. It's going to be, I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out. Because it affects everybody. At the end of the day, people, this affects everybody. We're just speaking our opinions and perspectives on this
Taiwan
stuff.
Is fucked.
But at this point, it affects everybody. So
under Biden, he is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
under Trump, Taiwan would be fully protected.
Yeah.
Fully protected. Xi Jinping wouldn't come near Taiwan with Trump in office.
Yeah. Yeah, man. He just needs to get him one of those firm handshakes, just letting him know, like, He does have a freaking firm handshake, right?
Are we running time?
We're close. I mean, we're an hour deep. I mean, what do you got on the agenda?
One last thing. I just want to talk about a conspiracy of my own.
Oh, yes. That's enough of conspiracy. Okay.
This is not an ad. This is not an ad.
No ads. You're not paying us either.
But, I was telling the guys before the podcast started that, man, I'm running out of these Zins. Now, Zins were made popular with Tucker Carlson being an avid user, and so ever since then, everything's skyrocketed. Zin sales have skyrocketed. Well, past I want to say month or two, I've noticed that these convenience stores, they're running out. Everybody is running out of supply. So then I went to I believe Reddit to find out, is this a thing? Is this, or is this just my area? Well, so the convenience store will tell you that there was a fire at the factory. But the thing about that story is that the fire is only affected. I think the company is in Sweden. And so, but Winston Marlboro, I think that's one company now. They merged. They bought Zyn, so they have their own thing. So that fire wouldn't have affected this. But there is a lawsuit going on right now with Zyn that they're saying that Zinfluencers are to blame because they're getting TikTok is being used as a tool to get younger people hooked on nicotine.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's the thing. And so there could be a lawsuit that could be going on, but either way, there's some reason right now that Zyn users are having to go to other nicotine pouches. And here's the thing that sucks about these other nicotine pouches. I won't name names, but there's another one. They have different flavors, but it leaves burns in there. And then, so you look at these nicotine pouches, and then you're trying to, those of us that do it, we're like, yeah, we don't want the carcinogen in that come with cigarettes or chew or anything, right? Well, they did a study on these nicotine pouches, and they found that 40% of them carried highly carcinogenic materials or ingredients in there. But they don't tell you who it is. And I'm like, well, great.
It's Russian roulette,
So I figured, maybe this Zyn shortage is a good thing. Maybe this is my time that I need to just
check out.
Cut out before.
Dang, dude. They're robbing of your sweet nectar. I just thought I'd throw that out
there because that's a thing where, I was like, it's hitting me every day.
Man, maybe this is our time to invest in it and come up with a new one. I mean, hey, right?
I mean, yeah. If we could come up with one that you could literally make
instead of Zen, it'll be Flynn.
or BEPP. BEPP, Beyond Expectation podcast.
Oh yeah, BEPP
Pouches.
BEPP pouches.
Yeah,
and then as
BEPP
a link,
pouches.
a little digital link to our podcast. Each can is a view on YouTube.
That is amazing. See?
Oh, you're getting a free game, dude.
Didn't want me no more. They all want me.
Get your BEPP pouches at a
BEPP
convenience
pouches.
store
I
nearby.
like that.
So,
We'd have to fight with Black Eyed Peas though, because I see them using BEPP a lot.
Oh yeah.
well, we get to say it's beep.
Beep, yeah, or like
Like
BEP
one of
with
the
two
E's
T's.
is silent.
BEP with two T's. Beyond Expectation podcast pouches.
Hey.
BEP.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
Are we speaking into existence? Are we throwing out to the universe?
We are
gonna have
manifesting
any
the
space.
shit out of this.
We need the rocks. We need the rocks on the table so we can manifest. There's a funny meme out there though. Before we wrap this up, they're like, it's like I'm trying this manifestation shit, and it says manifesting some head. He wrote it like on a piece of paper, and there's like little rocks around it. He's like, I'm trying this manifestation shit.
That's not how manifestation works, people. Take seances.
Oh, I love X, bro.
Our seance is going to start after this ends.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's do it. You have a goat back
We got
here
some candles.
that we can.
I think I got a couple rabbits out back. We might be able to wrangle in.
We need some frogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we need pig's blood too.
We're-
though.
yeah,
Pig's
we're-
blood. Yeah.
Hey, there's a farm down the road.
And some candles. We need a
have
lot of
them.
candles.
We got candles.
Oh, we got candles.
I got the
Yeah.
little stick candles too. We can set them up everywhere.
Man. We are on it. Yeah. So manifestation begins now.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. Damn, that's crazy. So, more of the story, you got to find yourself an alternative, and we might find the answer right now. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yep.
Time will tell. That was a good one, boys.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, do you guys have anything else to add to the table? I mean, before we wrap this up and close this one out, I mean, anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good, Brad.
That's hilarious. It almost reminded me of like at the end of a conversation when you get off the phone with someone and they're like, "Is there anything else I can resolve with you for today?"
Yeah. We are the internet's customer service.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No,
dude, yeah.
all good. I
Bring
think
you
we're
good times,
Covered
humor,
it
and
all.
just a good vibe, man. That's what it's all about here. So,
Yeah.
But nonetheless, people, thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching or listening to this. And also go check us out on all the major streaming platforms. We're on Instagram, Beyond Expectation Podcast. We have a direct link in our bio where it'll take you everywhere where we're available. Spotify, TuneIn FM Radio, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, you name it. We are everywhere.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget, we're going to link down our email where you can reach us out to send us maybe some topics you want us to discuss. You want some advice from Brad here. He's a good therapist. So definitely reach out to us on our email. I'll post it up again right here below and just reach out to the boys. But nonetheless, people, hopefully you're having a fantastic day when this drops and take care. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.
Peace.